Welcome back to Blood Sugar Squad, your go-to channel for simple, actionable tips to manage diabetes and live your best life. Now, if you're living with diabetes, you know a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor, isn't just a gadget, it's a lifeline. It's the tiny device on our arms or bellies that gives us the data we need to stay safe, make smart choices, and avoid dangerous highs and lows. But recently, you might have noticed something strange. A new trend is popping up all over social media and health blogs. We're seeing fitness influencers, biohackers, and everyday health enthusiasts, people without diabetes, wearing these sensors and tracking their glucose in real time. They're using them to optimize workouts, fine-tune their diets, and chase the elusive goal of metabolic fitness. So, the big question we're tackling today is this. Are CGMs for non-diabetics a revolutionary smart tool for the health-conscious? Or are they a dangerous, expensive fad that's creating more problems than it solves? Segment 1. The Promise, Beyond the Diabetic Frontier. Let's start by understanding the appeal. Why would someone without diabetes want to prick their skin and wear a device 24/7? The answer lies in a powerful concept: data. For decades, the standard advice for non-diabetics has been broad and one-size-fits-all. Eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly, avoid too much sugar. But a CGM offers something radically different: a personalized, real-time window into how your unique body responds to food, stress, sleep, and exercise. Proponents of this movement point to fascinating examples. You might discover that a healthy breakfast like oatmeal causes a significant glucose spike for you, while a slice of avocado toast keeps your levels steady. You could see how a stressful work meeting or a poor night's sleep can send your glucose on a roller coaster, even if you haven't eaten anything. This is the core of the promise: personalized, actionable feedback. The goal for these users isn't to prevent hypoglycemia, but to achieve what they call glucose stability. The theory is that minimizing sharp spikes and crashes can lead to more stable energy levels, reduced cravings, better mood, and improved long-term metabolic health. For elite athletes, it's about optimizing fuel for peak performance. For the rest of us, it's about becoming the CEO of our own health, making decisions based on data, not guesswork. It's a seductive proposition. Who wouldn't want that level of insight? But before we get swept away by the potential, we have to ask a critical question. Is the data these non-diabetics are collecting actually meaningful, and are the conclusions they're drawing from it accurate? Segment 2. The Pitfalls, Data, Dollars, and Disorder. This is where the shiny promise of CGMs for all starts to show some cracks. The first, and perhaps biggest issue, is one of interpretation. For someone without diabetes, their pancreas is a finely tuned instrument. It's designed to release just the right amount of insulin to handle a glucose load, and then their glucose is designed to come back down. A spike after a meal is normal and expected. It's not a sign of dysfunction. It's a sign your body is doing its job. The danger lies in misinterpreting these normal physiological responses as something bad. Seeing a post-meal spike and labeling a food as unhealthy for you can lead to an overly restrictive and unnecessary fear of foods that are, in fact, perfectly fine for your body. This can be the first step down a slippery slope toward disordered eating patterns and orthorexia, an unhealthy obsession with eating only pure or correct foods. The second major pitfall is the cost. CGMs are expensive. While insurance often covers them for people with diabetes, non-diabetics are typically paying out of pocket, which can be hundreds of dollars per month. This creates a significant access barrier, turning metabolic health into a luxury item. Is this data really worth the financial strain, especially when its long-term benefits for non-diabetics are still unproven? Finally, there's the psychological toll of constant monitoring. For us in the diabetic community, this constant vigilance is a necessary burden for survival. But for someone without diabetes, inviting this level of anxiety into their life can be profoundly stressful. It can take the joy out of eating, turn social meals into sources of stress, and create a hyper-focus on a single biomarker, ignoring the bigger picture of health, which includes mental well-being, joy, and connection. Now, if all this talk about glucose data has you feeling like your relationship with food is just a numbers game, we have another path, and without the need for an expensive sensor, we've created a free resource called Mindful Eating for Diabetes. It's a practical workbook that teaches you how to manage cravings without stress and turn every meal into an opportunity for stable energy and greater peace of mind. To download your free copy, just scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description below. Segment 3. The professional verdict. What does the science say? The consensus, at least for now, is one of caution and skepticism. First, it's crucial to understand that a CGM is a reactive device, not a predictive one. It tells you what is happening right now based on what you just did. It doesn't tell you your future risk of developing diabetes or heart disease with any real certainty. Your fasting blood glucose and HbA1c, the tests you get at your annual physical, are still the gold standard for assessing your long-term metabolic health. Second, the research is still in its infancy. While there are small studies showing that CGM use can lead to modest dietary changes in non-diabetics, there are no large, long-term studies proving that using a CGM actually prevents disease or significantly improves health outcomes for the general population. The companies selling these directly to consumers are often ahead of the science, making claims that sound compelling but lack the robust evidence to back them up. This doesn't mean there's no place for them. Endocrinologists and dietitians are exploring their use in specific, supervised scenarios. For instance, a CGM might be a powerful educational tool for someone with prediabetes, making the abstract concept of blood sugar tangibly real and motivating concrete lifestyle changes. It could also be useful for elite athletes under the guidance of a sports medicine team, or for individuals with complex, unexplained energy issues where a doctor suspects a metabolic component. The key takeaway from the experts is this: context is everything. Without the proper medical framework to interpret the data, a CGM for a non-diabetic is like having a high-tech speedometer without a map or a destination. You have a lot of data, but you might not know what to do with it. Or worse, you might end up driving in the wrong direction out of fear. Segment 4. Final thoughts. So, after all this, where does the Blood Sugar Squad land on CGMs for non-diabetics? Is it a smart tool or a dangerous fad? The truth is, it's not a simple yes or no. The CGM itself is neither good nor bad. It's a powerful piece of technology. The danger isn't the device, but the context in which it's used. For the general public using it without guidance, it leans heavily towards being an expensive fad that risks creating anxiety, fostering an unhealthy relationship with food, and providing data that is often misinterpreted. However, for a select few, under the careful supervision of a doctor or dietitian, it can be a smart tool for short-term education and motivation. Here's the bottom line for our non-diabetic friends who are curious. If you are genuinely concerned about your metabolic health, your first and most valuable step is not to buy a CGM. It's to schedule an appointment with your doctor. Get your HbA1c checked. Have a conversation. The foundational pillars of health remain the same, with or without a CGM. Eat a balanced diet rich in whole foods, move your body regularly, prioritize sleep, and manage stress. These are the proven, time-tested strategies for well-being. No sensor required. For our diabetic squad, seeing this trend can feel strange. This device that is essential for our safety has become a lifestyle accessory for others. My hope is that this conversation brings more awareness and understanding to the daily reality we live. We are the true experts in glucose management, and our community remains as strong as ever. What are your thoughts about CGM use for non-diabetics? Comment below. Thank you for watching. If this video brought you value, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Blood Sugar Squad for more honest conversations about diabetes and health. Until next time, stay strong, stay sweet, but not too sweet, and keep thriving with the Blood Sugar Squad.